Ragin Cajuns head coach Mike Desormeaux says, we're playing in bowl games, baby. It's Locked on Sunbelt.
You are Locked on Sunbelt, your daily podcast on the Sunbelt Conference, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, Dave Schultz, Locked on Sunbelt, your teams every day. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. We will get to the two bowl games, Cajuns and Desmormeaux, taking on Delaware in Mobile, oddly enough. And ODU is in Orlando to take on USF in the Cure Bowl, and Sunbelt Hoops tipping off tonight as well. This will be the regular episode. We will have a bonus episode once I wake up following tonight's Troy-Jacksonville State matchup in the Salute to Vets Bowl game. I'll have a halftime recap. We'll do a quick end of the game recap, but it'd be too late for me to do a whole episode. Plus, we have this. Also, I'm recording the crossover with Spencer from Locked on Ducks. That will drop on Thursday. So we got lots of episodes to do. Turns out because my microphone didn't work yesterday. And by the way, I turned it on right before I started recording. So I'm going to end up doing 3 episodes today. All right. Good thing we had the day off. All right. So Cajuns taking on Delaware from Conference USA. We'll get into the nitty gritty of the bowl game here in a minute. But Mike Desormeaux, he still doesn't have, it's interesting, the whole I don't need to say things. And that doesn't necessarily get him in trouble per se, but he doesn't do a lot of coach speak. You ask Mike Desormeaux a general question, or a very specific question, even better, you're going to get a specific answer. Someone asked him about playing in a bowl game, and he said, I'm playing. Whenever we're playing in bowl games, we're going to play. All right. It doesn't matter who's opting out. It doesn't matter where it is. And he's doing as simple things as saying, last year we played in New Mexico. Got their butts kicked. Did mention that. But he said, guys have never seen the mountains. I grew up in Louisiana. We didn't travel. Coming to Mobile is big. I kind of like that. All right. Some of these guys are never playing college football again or competitive football again. Right. He said, when it's over, it's over. We get 10 practices for the young guys, and we get to play one more football game. Pretty good. Meanwhile, Notre Dame quit in a huff. Plenty of those guys would not have played in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, but plenty of them would have. And I give it to Mike Desormeaux for standing up. That's the leader, right? He says playing in 8 straight bowl games is a thing. Now, somewhere along the way, you'd like to do better than that. All right. And they did play for a Sunbelt championship last year. But other than that, he's only been a 500 coach. And last year was his only 500 year. He always gets to the bowl game at 6-6 and then loses the game, right? The only bowl game he's won was off of Napier's Sunbelt championship game. But he also said, this is what kept us going. They were 2-6. They've won 4 in a row, needed overtime to beat ULM just to get to the bowl game. I love it. That's what it's all about. All right. And, sometimes if we're not playing in a national championship game, if we're not playing in a playoff game, it doesn't matter. Joe Klatt, I don't know what he's doing, is hammering the NCAA basketball tournament, like the best sporting event on an annual basis. He's saying that stinks because it may not get the best team all year. Well, that's the thing with playoffs. You don't necessarily get the best team all year. Take my Patriots. First year they won it. They weren't the best team all year. They got hot. What about this year? What if the Steelers get hot? Steelers could get hot. If that AFC is up for grabs, couldn't the Steelers get hot? Have they been the best team all year? No. They got hot at the right time. That's winning a championship. Okay, it happens. We don't remember the regular season champs as much as we remember the teams that win in the playoffs. So the best team doesn't always win. That's why you play the games, right? Right? I mean, Georgetown was I'm going way back here. Jeez, we're going way back. Georgetown was the best team all season long. At least one of them. Villanova wasn't. Who won the game? Villanova. Happens. All right. It happens. Football less so because of the physicality of it. So we understand that. But I mean, God forbid one of these two teams win, Tulane or JMU, it's going to be awesome. And I think there's just as much pressure on Alabama. They better not, come up small and lose 17-3 to Oklahoma. All right. They lose, it's not going to look great. But if they rush for, again, another -3 yards and put up a grand total of 1 touchdown, all those G5 guys online are going to hammer them because Alabama didn't deserve to be it, which is really what should have happened. But that's something different. Okay. By the way, my guy Jamarcus Fitzpatrick posted the video of Mike Desormeaux. I quote tweeted it. If you want to go find it, you can go find it on his Twitter feed, his X feed. Meanwhile, Cajuns taking on Delaware. Once again, Sun Belt versus Conference USA. It is Cajuns are favored by 3 in this one. I'm not going to sit here and know anything about Delaware outside of that's where Joe Flacco went to school, I believe. ESPN's got it 61-39 in favor of the Cajuns. All right. Breaking down the stats a little bit. Delaware is pretty good offensively. They're second in the league, or tied for first in the league, actually, in scoring. And offensively, they're right behind Jacksonville State in terms of offense, 418 yards a ball game. Rushing-wise, not that good. Where'd they go? They went down to 9th, 116 yards a ball game. But passing, they're number 1. They averaged 302 yards a game in the air. So they're going to throw it a bunch. They got 23 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's not great, but they do pass it a bunch. Led the conference with 3,600 yards. Defensively, scoring-wise, Delaware is at the bottom. They give up a bunch of points, 32.5 points a ball game. That's 11th in Conference USA. Totals-wise, they are 11th defensively, giving up 411 yards per ball game. Rushing, they are 6th, right in the middle, 160 yards a ball game. And passing-wise, they give up 245 yards a ball game. Okay. Again, Lunch Winfield is expected to start this ball game. This looks like it's got 61.5. And the over would be a good way to go in this one. We get the Sun Belt. See where the Cajuns finished up because they just had a wild season. I mean, they really did. From Walker Howard getting hurt in the first game of the year to coming back in the final game of the year and leading them into the bowl game. All right. And he is expected to play as well. All right. Scoring wise, Cajuns right in the middle of the pack, 7th out of 14 at 27 points a ball game. Defensively, right in the middle of the pack, 7th, giving up 30 points a ball game. That's exactly what Delaware scores. All right. Totals wise, offensively, they're 11th in the Sun Belt, 345 yards a ball game. Defensively, they're 10th. They give up 417 yards a ball game. Again, this has got overwritten all over it. We're going to take the over in this one. And so Delaware is 6-6. Let's see who they've beaten here. Segment's going a little bit long. They beat Delaware State, their rival. Lost to Colorado 31-7. They beat a good UConn team 44-41. Upended FIU 38-16. Lost to Western Kentucky in a tough loss 27-24. Lost to Jacksonville State 38-25. Beat Middle Tennessee State. Lost to Liberty 59-30. Ouch. Squeak past La Tech 25-24. Lost to Sam Houston 26-23. I think we mentioned it. They got hammered by Wake 52-14, but then did their own blasting of UTEP 61-31. I'm going to take the over, and I'm going to be a little bit of a homer. We'll take the Cajuns in this one. That may not be the case in the next ball game. All right. But I'm all behind Desormeaux. All right. Again, I got my guy Ryan Talbert, covers the Bills, does a great job doing that. And he's like, teams opt out of the NIT. Well, they shouldn't opt out of the NIT. All right. Just because you won't remember it doesn't mean they won't remember it. All right. Mike Desormeaux remembers the New Orleans Bowl that was played in Lafayette due to Katrina. Arkansas State playing against Southern Miss. He remembers a Sun Belt team playing a bowl game in his stadium. We're going on 20 years of that. You don't think he remembers? They remember. Play the games. All right. If you want to opt out because you're worried about injury, that I don't have a problem of. but there's plenty of guys who aren't playing at the next level who want to play one more time. Let them play. All right, let's talk about ODU taking on USF in the Cure Bowl. We'll do that right after I tell you about FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, and every possibility. I am taking the Cajuns minus the 3, and I'm going to go over 61.5 points in this ballgame. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. All right, Dave Schultz, Lockdown Sunbelt. Your teams every day. Again, this will be the regular episode, and then we'll have a bonus episode recapping the Troy ball game. Probably a couple segments, may not be a full episode. But again, that game is probably, well, could end by midnight, depending on how much Jacksonville State wants to run the football and Troy wants to run the football. But we're going to have bonus episodes. 2 episodes running tomorrow. So that's the way that's going to work out. Okay. ODU is taking on South Florida in the Cure Bowl, right? And that is in Orlando. Yes, it is. Camping World Stadium, going to be 70 degrees. All right. No Colton Joseph and no Alex Golesh. All right. Let's check out South Florida, all right, had a pretty good season, right? Good enough to get Alex Golesh the Auburn job. They blew out Boise State. They kind of shocked the system with their blowout of Boise State. Then they beat Florida on a last-second field goal miss, I believe. Wasn't all that long. But they got blown out by Miami, and they actually did not finish particularly strong. They had a good season at 9-3. Don't kid yourself. But, you know, after Boise State and Florida, they didn't really, well, they did beat North Texas. That's a nice win. That's North Texas' only loss, 63-36. But they did lose to Memphis, and they lost to Navy. Navy ends up being much better than I thought they were. They finished 10-2. I thought they were going to finish closer to 7-5 than 10-2. I was wrong on that one. How about those midshipmen? All right. So let's check out the American in South Florida. They were in scoring second in offense, which is what you'd expect with Alex Golesh, 43 points a ball game. Defensively, pretty good. 5th in the conference, 23.3 points a ball game, which is really good because a lot of teams are high flying, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams scoring almost 30 points a ball game. Whereas in Conference USA, only 2 teams are scoring 30 points a ball game. Totals wise, South Florida, second in the conference in offense, right behind North Texas, 501 yards a ball game. Defensively, they are in the middle of the pack, 8th out of 14, giving up just over 386 yards a ball game. All right, let's see here. Rushing wise, South Florida, 225 a game. That's on offense. That's 3rd in the conference. Defensively, they are 4th in the conference, only giving up 134 yards. Passing wise, 4th in offense, 276 yards. So they are very balanced offensively. Defensively, not so much. 12th in the conference, allowing 252 yards a ball game. The problem is there's no Colton Joseph. There's Quinn Henicle. And he is known, someone got in the mentions, that he's the fastest guy on the team. You saw him outrun the Arkansas State secondary in a highlight 92-yard run. If you saw that on X here lately. But what can he do passing-wise to take advantage of USF? Meanwhile, again, they have their work cut out for them, because you do have the dual threat quarterback in Byron Brown. All right. Over 3,100 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. But he also leads the team in rushing with 1,008 yards, almost 6 yards a carry, does have 14 touchdowns on the ground. This one is going to be tough for ODU. All right. And let's see. South Florida is favored by 2.5. Did someone come out that I didn't know about? Because South Florida was favored by 7.5 when it opened. That could just be Alex Golish for all I know, unless Byron Brown went into the portal and is opting out. I do not know. Otherwise, I'm taking South Florida in this one. This is going to be a tough one for Old Dominion to win without Colton Joseph. He's the engine that makes Old Dominion go. But with Ricky Ronnie signing an extension, and like Desmormeaux said, they got an extra 10 practices. They knew they were going bowling, and they were one of the first Sun Belt teams to accept the bid. And they had a bunch of time to practice. And so that's going to lead them right into next season. And you can find out what Quinn can do in this one and what he needs to work on in the offseason and take that into spring ball. All right. Is he Colton Joseph with better wheels? I don't know. What can he do offensively is what we are going to find out. All right. So I am taking USF in this one, rooting for Old Dominion. Don't kid yourself. Let's see which one is first. So actually, the ODU ball game is first. That's 5 p.m. The Cajuns game is at 8:30 p.m. All right. I got a feeling we're not staying up for that one because we are working on Thursday morning. So we'll stay up for half, and then I actually probably watch the ball game working out. I can watch the rest of the ball game working out on Thursday. So we will see how it goes. All right. Meanwhile, we've got Sun Belt basketball tipping off. Unbelievable already. All right. We're going to do that after I tell you about Omaha Steaks, and stay tuned for a special opportunity for our everydayers. All right. We'll do that right after this. The holidays are here, and whether you're hosting family, planning the perfect gift, or just trying to keep things simple and delicious, Omaha Steaks is making it easier than ever. From effortless holiday entertaining to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience straight to your door. What makes it even better? With Omaha Steaks, you know exactly what you're gifting. USDA certified tender steaks, premium proteins, gourmet sides, and decadent desserts that make anyone feel appreciated. I love how easy it is to gift. Shows up frozen, packed beautifully, ready to cook. Steaks are perfectly aged and insanely tender. It's restaurant level at home. It's become one of my favorite last-minute gifts because it feels so thoughtful without requiring any stress. Save big on gourmet gifts and holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com, and for an extra $35 off, use code COLLEGE at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code COLLEGE. All right, and a special opportunity for those who do tune in every day. All right. Thank you for making Locked On Sunbelt your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. You already live the Sunbelt every day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club and get Locked On Sunbelt with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Go to lockdownsunbelt.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes to learn more. All right. Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. New opportunity. If you want to do that, $5, that's not a whole heck of a lot. Normally, it will be free. All right. We're not charging you for just watching it, but you do get the ads. Some people don't mind them, and some people do. So here's your opportunity to go ad free. All right. Do appreciate everybody who has made this grown. We are up over 2,800 subscribers. That's amazing for the Sun Belt. I really do believe so. And with baseball coming, I think it's even going to grow even more. It will not take us long before we get to 2,000. Let's see where we are as of this recording. We're up to 2,803. All right. So we'll see how it grows from here in 2026. All right. Meanwhile, Sunbelt Hoops tipping off tonight. All right. I want to see this. I don't know why I didn't do this before. Preseason basketball poll. Okay. So again, nobody knows anything about these preseason polls. It's the coaches. All right. That's who's voting on this. It's not the media. It's the coaches. And I don't think they know anything about their team. Meanwhile, everybody else's team. So James Madison was picked first. All right. Arkansas State second. South Alabama third. Troy fourth. All right. The Cajuns ninth. It's not going to end up that way. No. Cajuns are going to be lucky to finish there. And we'll see where we are with the teams that are playing tonight. All right. So you are starting off with South Alabama taking on Monroe. All right. South Alabama, tough loss against North Texas. Honestly, a game they should have won, right? They did not execute at the end of the ball game. They were behind all game, but they should have won that ball game. So this is a way to get that bad taste out of their mouth. Let's see what South Alabama does against Monroe. Monroe, 3-8, struggling this year. South Alabama is 8-3. So far, Monroe has beat Rust, whatever that is. Stephen F. Austin, 96-76. They lost to Stephen F. Austin. They beat Mississippi Valley State, 66-92, and beat Arkansas Baptist, 79-69. So I'm not sure if they've beaten a Division I school yet, not knowing those schools off the top of my head. South Alabama, one of the better teams. They are out with Peyton Law for the rest of the year. What was it, about 13 points and 6 rebounds a game? That's a big loss. All right. Probably would have made a huge difference against North Texas. So we'll see how long that takes them to adapt. Although they adapted pretty well against North Texas, should have won the basketball game. All right. Let's see who else we got on Wednesday night. You do have James Madison and Old Dominion. All right. James Madison, 7-4. Let's see if they got any nice wins. They beat Townsend. They beat FIU, beat Omaha, lost to George Mason, beat NC Central, Norfolk State. They don't really have that great of wins. They lost against Longwood. They've lost to Long Island. They lost to Akron. They don't have any great wins. Beating Norfolk State is night 68-67. That's about it. All right. Meanwhile, Old Dominion is off to a rough start at 3-8. They've beaten teams like Randolph. They had a tough time with Norfolk State, beating them by 3. They got hammered by George Washington, hammered by Xavier. They beat Morgan State 88-56, but they've lost 5 in a row. Lost to Drexel by 4. Lost to Villanova, actually 89-75, not awful. Lost to William and Mary, lost to Richmond, and they lost to George Mason. So it has been a tough go of it for Old Dominion. This is a big ball game. Old Dominion is favored by 1.5. I think that's crazy. Okay, that's amazing. I will say the one thing about Old Dominion, and we'll see because the students aren't there. We'll see what the crowd looks like. Old Dominion supports the basketball team, maybe the best in the Sun Belt. Arkansas State does as well. But we'll see after the new year. We may see, we'll see when they're at home. All right. Like the Cajuns are going to be lucky to draw 500 people. The Cajuns are going to be lucky to win 7 ball games this year. This is what they all wanted. They all wanted to run Bob Marlin off. That's what they did. And now they've won 1 ball game. Their season low for wins is 7. They may not get there. They may set a new mark for fertility this year for the Cajuns because they are not good and they are injured. Two things that don't mix well for trying to get wins. All right. And they just can't score at all. And you saw that early when they weren't as quite as banged up. Now they're more banged up and it's worse. Now, we shall see how that goes. All right. All right. And elsewhere, you do have Arkansas State. Speaking of Arkansas State, 7-4, taking on Texas State, 7-5. Arkansas State actually has some nice wins. They went to Ohio and beat them in the Sun Belt MAC matchup. All right. They lost to Stephen F. Austin. Ugly loss, 90-65. Squeaked past Missouri State. That's a nice come from behind win on the road. Lost to St. Mary's. St. Mary's is pretty good, 85-72. Got blown out by SMU and have won 4 out of their last 5. Beat Jacksonville State, North Dakota State, former Sun Belt foe UT Arlington, and Little Rock, as it turns out. but they just lost to Rice 77-76, and that was a bad loss. They were up by 7 with 4 minutes left to go and blew the game. So that's a bad taste in their mouth. Not good. And they get Texas State and Southern Miss here before Christmas, both on the road for Arkansas State. So we'll see if they can do it. But they have some nice wins on the road. But that loss to Rice is a bad one. Ryan Pannone is off to a pretty good start. Texas State is 7-5. I think all their wins are at home, which is good because this game is at home. They lost to Bowling Green, first game of the season, 83-48. Not good. Beat Texas A&M San Antonio, blew them out at home. Lost to Tulane in a good matchup with Ron Hunter and the Green Wave, 79-71. Beat UTSA at home. Beat Texas Southern at home. Abilene Christian at home. Beat Little Rock at home. Texas Lutheran at home. They did lose to Seattle, of all teams, and Lehigh at home. That may have been a tournament. That may have been a tournament in there. So that's interesting. Texas Lutheran, Seattle, and Lehigh all in those ball games. And they did lose to Rice 77-72. They just beat Southern 86-83. Interesting. All right. They are getting they have a tough go of it. They got Arkansas State, South Alabama, and Troy. Those could literally be the best 3 teams in the Sun Belt. So that's not an easy 3 to start with in Sun Belt play. All right, we'll do more on for Thursday's episode. Maybe have a second episode for them as well, because we got more games on Thursday, right? In basketball, you do have Coastal Carolina at App State, Georgia State's at Georgia Southern, and Southern Miss is hosting the 1-10 Cajuns. You want to see a fan base go apoplectic, watch Southern Miss lose to the Cajuns, which they will not do. All right. I doubt we have a line yet on this. No, betting lines don't come out until day of, or maybe the day before. The Southern Miss should not lose to the Cajuns. That's not going to happen. All right. Southern Miss is pretty good. The Cajuns are not. All right. The Cajuns are they're just bad. It's going to be one of those years for the Cajuns. It's going to be a record-setting season for the Cajuns. Yeah. It is what it is. All right. Everybody enjoy the football tonight. Really appreciate all the efforts. Remember, crossover Locked On Ducks episode with JMU, Locked On Sunbelt, talking Oregon, and it's the Dukes and the Ducks. I've typed that wrong all week long. Will be coming up on Thursday, so we'll be looking for that one as well. All right. Going to enjoy another day off today. Had a good day on Tuesday. All right. Probably purchased a bourbon that I didn't need, but did want. So that was good. Actually, a rye in this case. Something that Jim Beam makes, but not at the distillery yet. So I did happen to find it locally for the going rate. So that's nice. All right. Again, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe. Don't forget about those podcasts. And again, quick reminder, if you want to get into that ad-free situation, go to lockdownsunbelt.supercast.com. It's all of $5 a month. It costs you all of $50. And as they say, time is money. And this may save you some time. Nope. That's the way I would look at it. All right. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We will talk to you again on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody. You've been watching and listening to Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. Have a good one.